the bottom, from the bottom.
Once again, we back. This time we have writer producer on Darien. Wait, how you say it right? Because I don't want to mess it up.
No worries. It's Darien Curry.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Then I was like, dang, should I call him by a nickname or something? Yeah,
You can call me
Darien.
D. Everybody calls me D anyway, so it's all
Oh,
good with that.
oh, okay. Well, I'll call you D then. All right. Well, we
Yes.
got Darien Curry D on the show this time, and he gonna give y'all some knowledge and some feedback on some of the stuff that he get into and what he's into. So I don't want to hold you up. You want to tell everybody who you are.
All right. Well, Darien Curry. I'm from the Washington D.C. area, the DMV. Went to boarding school at 15 in Pennsylvania. Then I went to school in Alabama. Down there is when I learned. I studied communications. It's when I learned how to do film, TV. It's interesting. After that, as I graduated, I went straight to California because my uncle told me about this producer that went to our church that that I could link up with. So when I get out to California, I work for him. Now here's the crazy part. I was, when you first get out there, you're an intern. You learn the ropes through, being at the very bottom of the barrel. And I would say that it's best to start that way because you have more of appreciation to where you're going to go. So, I'm down there, as you can imagine what an intern does, you're
Everything.
yeah, pretty much anything they tell you to do, you're doing it. You're getting everybody's food. You're interacting with celebrities and their what's it called? Their handlers, whatever. But that created relationships for me because since I was able to, since they see me so much, they said, oh, like, hey, tell Darren to come do this, come Darren to do this, and then when I wanted a favor for them later on, I was able to talk to them because they knew who I was. And that's a good portion of this business is relationships, who and it's probably one of the best things ever for me. Now from there is when I was working for this producer, I was learning how to write during that same time. Now I had been writing in college, but while I was working under him, since he's a writer, I learned the do's and don'ts of how to create a story structure, the act breaks, character arcs, story arc, all this stuff. And, when you're doing it over and over and over again, it got to the point that he started to notice. So I was doing it for him as well. So, just writing just little things at first, you write a short story, write a script here and there. And, it blossomed from there. After I left the producer, very ventured out on my own. It's a crazy story because, you kind of have to start all over again. Because, now that, I'm striking on my own, I had met my business partner. His name is Randall Hooper.
Yeah.
We branded ourselves, Hooper and Curry Productions because we decided, in this business, we felt that, we're just as good as anybody else, just because, that we're not at this level doesn't mean we're not going to get there one day. So that's what we decided to do. And the first film we wrote for was Sister Code with Amber Rose, Eva Marcel. Who else is in it? Drew Sidora. She's going to be on Housewives of Atlanta this coming season. Who else is in it? Dwayne Martin.
Oh snap!
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of people are in this. But it's and the film's still on Netflix. If anyone want to check it out, so it's called Sister Code. And then from there, that opened the door for a lot of other things. Like right now, I'm producing along with my business partner our own film, Thanks for Giving, which is about a guy trying to propose to his girlfriend on Thanksgiving Day. We wanted to capitalize off this one holiday that no one else really capitalizes off of. Everybody does Christmas. Everybody does. Yeah, think about it for a second. How many Christmas movies can you name on top of your head?
Probably like 5.
Right? See, you can easy. It's a Wonderful Life, Home Alone, easy off top of your head. You can name those. Yeah. You can name any Thanksgiving movies. So this is a holiday that needs to be capitalized off of. And you think about movies that go along with that holiday, you'll probably think of like Soul Food or something like that.
That's what I was thinking. I was just thinking Soul Food. That's popped in my mind.
You see, but that's not. It wasn't about the holiday. It was about the family life. It kind of correlates to the food and everything.
Yeah.
but that's not. We wanted to capitalize. It's this whole film is about someone actually proposing on that day, and it's actually reflective of what happened in my real life. My stepfather proposed to my mom on Thanksgiving Day. So,
Yeah.
right, what you know.
Oh, you got a point there. You got a point. Dang.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, I was wondering,
Sure.
what gave you the motivation just to start writing? Like, because you don't meet too many writers, producers that's writing movies and shows, like, especially black. Like,
See, here's the thing. Okay, there's a few things for myself. When I was growing up, it was me, myself, and my little sister, and my mom. So my mom's working all the time, so she's single mom, taking care of 2 kids.
I understand.
I used to, for me, storytelling. The love of storytelling started because I used to tell my sister stories to get her to go to sleep. So that's where the love kind of started a little bit. And then the next, this is gonna sound random, but the next step to that was in high school. I was good at storytelling to get out of trouble. I was very good. I would make up a story on the spot just so you don't get suspended or something you did.
Yeah.
So I would make up a story about like, well, why this was needed to be done. And teachers would eat it up. It's fun. My mother wouldn't, but teachers would love it. And that's another way where it's the storytelling. I was like, I have a gift for this.
Well, what did you add in the waterworks too when you were telling the story too?
No, I'm a black man. They ain't gonna do that for me. They ain't gonna work for me. That was gonna work. But I'm a very animated person. So I'll make you believe that this is how it's supposed to be, and like, oh my God, I'll give you the whole nine. But from there, now where the writing for myself, I realized that one of my heroes, rest in peace, John Singleton. He when he wrote Boys in the Hood, I realized how much ownership he had of that film, and I was like, that's where it is. You don't want to give your product away. You want to say, this is mine. This is ours. And I think that we as Black people, we give our talent away way too much.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's because it's a natural talent that we have. This natural gift that all of us have. We don't give it for free. You don't owe anybody anything. This is yours. What you do is you charge them for this. So that's why I learned that, this is, I love storytelling. I love it. Any storytelling. I mean, it doesn't even matter who it comes from. I love storytelling. And I realized this is something that we should do together. And if we can tell a good story, and especially our stories, I don't care about our stories. so give us somebody else that has the stories that we have. So that's where writing came into play.
Oh, dang, that's nice right there. That's cool right there.
Yeah,
but Kyle did mention to me about y'all pitching a show to John Singleton.
John Singleton? No, we didn't pitch. We pitched a few shows. Okay, here's the thing. The show that we were pitching, a business partner and I were pitching. This show is called Pinehurst Academy, where it's a multiracial group of students, diverse cast of students, at a boarding school. And this is about my life when I was at boarding school. So we had to change it up because times have changed. Where and back in the day, where it's kind of like the stereotypes, the black athlete or the popular cheerleader chick who's mostly gonna be a blonde white chick. Now you see there's people of how to say this, like children that are cis that identify as cis gender. I don't know how to say it correctly, but like those are the people that we see now. They want to see themselves on screen as well. So like that, you see Asian kids, you want to see East Indian kids, you want to see all these people going to this one school. And then you don't really, I mean, you see that now a little bit with certain shows like Riverdale or we see it now a little bit more. It's not like back in the day when like 90210 or Dawson's Creek where it was just completely white cast. Now we see ourselves. Another good show, Not American Me. What's the one with the football players?
Well, I know a new show. Well, a reboot of an old show. They got more of a diverse cast now. The one we had Zach in it.
Oh, Saved by the Bell. Yeah,
the Bell. Yeah.
Yes. It's just like this, but it's a boarding school which I don't think anybody has really tackled boarding school. You've seen so many other schools, these richy schools, but boarding school, no. And I can speak to that because I was there. So that's a show that we've been pitching, yeah.
So your show Sister Code on Netflix.
Yes.
Right. How did that come about? Y'all
Okay.
make sure y'all go check that movie out too.
Okay. I appreciate that. So here's a story behind that. My business partner, Randall, his friend Don, who he came to him and said, "Hey guys, we want to do this. We want to do this film." And let me tell you, it's so funny how that meeting went, because they told us, they said, "We want you guys to write a film." And all they told us in the pitch meeting was just write a film about 3 women and their joys and triumphs. That's all he said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you sit in the meeting like, okay, give me a little bit more than that,
Yeah.
So the great thing about it is they give us a lot of autonomy of what our vision could be. So I say, you know what, and it feels weird because we're writing something, we're guys writing about female experiences.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, but Tyler Perry does it all the time. So it's like it's not impossible. So what we do is we spoke to females that we knew, get their stories, and told them, said, this is, we want you to see yourself on screen. What's the story behind this? So then the story of Sister Code with these 3 sisters being adopted from each other. It was a whole different story at first, but what you see now is what was not written. That's how Hollywood works. And the guy, his name is Don. Don was the one. He was a producer. He was the one that had the connection with Netflix and everything. So
yeah,
that's how that came about to be. Actually, we were in theaters too. We were in theaters on Mother's Day weekend in 2015. It was in AMC theaters, and what else? We were on Amazon at one point, and we were on BET as well. So it was for a small film to get that much play was it was a blessing.
Yeah,
it was pretty much, it was around a lot. So yeah.
So can I ask you a question then? So
Sure.
Since you was the writer, like, do you get residuals, or they're just a production company? Like, I'm trying to understand, like, what kind of ownership, or like, if like a writer would have or a producer would have in the movie?
Most of the time, you have to be with the guilds, the Writers Guild. The Writers Guild is a Producers Guild, is a Directors Guild, and they're the ones that make sure that each person, that the writers and producers, they get their residuals. The thing is, you got to work that out in your contract way before you even get to that point. See, when we started off, this is our first film.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to take this. There's gonna be ups and downs. We're still working on getting the rest of the residuals part, but right now we're still kind of happy the fact that this is what got us in the door. Yeah. Now the next one, the one that we're working on, the Thanks for Giving, since we're producers, we definitely know we're gonna work that out way beforehand already. So it's kind of like it's one of those things where when you first start off, you live and learn. That's what I'm telling everybody now. You live and learn.
Yeah.
And it does. You're gonna make some mistakes, but you're gonna make some triumphs. You're gonna have some victories in the same breath. So you can't be let down by something that happened here and there. So that's the best answer I can give you.
And with your next show that you're working on, the Thanks for Giving, since it's under your production company, like, is you and your business partner, are y'all the only 2 writing on this movie?
We the only 2 that wrote it, yeah.
Because I'm wondering, like, how does multiple writers come together? And like, is it a lot of friction because like you got this idea and then this other person have an idea, and if you got more than 2 writers, like, it's a lot of ideas y'all trying to put together.
It can be a lot of cooks in the kitchen. But here's the thing: everybody has to be on one accord. What's the goal here? Some people it depends. Sometimes in the writing room, some people are very good at certain scenes. Like, oh, I can write this scene out perfectly because they have a vision that we didn't have, and this correlates into the movie. Some people are very good at writing characters, and I'm like, you know what? We need him for this. We need this person for that. everybody, there's one person, there's one head in charge. You got to, everybody has to follow this one person's lead, but everybody has to be on the same page. You know, and it's not so hard to get everybody on that page, but it can be difficult when it comes to final editing, in my opinion, where, you know, the producers will read it and be like, okay, we don't like this. Yeah. And like, what part did you didn't like? You know, so they, you know, now you got to tell 4 people, you know, hey, can you change this up, and you're like, oh, okay, you know, now you gotta, you know, redo everything. So my partner and I, we're the only ones, you know, that wrote it. You can't have hurt feelings about it. Somebody doesn't like it, you got, you know, take that. You know,
Yeah,
everybody's not gonna like it. Like, yeah, so just change it up. But then also another thing, when you know yourself, when there's this confidence in what you have already, you don't change it. Sometimes you don't change it up for everybody, because some things, you know, work, and some things, you know, don't work, because, you know, that's just the nature of the business. It's sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not, you know, but you figure it out.
So as the writer producer, do you have to come up with the way the character look too, or that on the director part? Like, how much control, like how much do you have to do behind the scenes to
When you're a producer
of the show?
When you're a producer, everything falls on you. Everything.
So the look,
you know, you don't.
The way,
like, okay, like, okay, let's imagine doing a big budget like Black Panther.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler had to be detailed to everything. Yeah. Everything. He had to leave it up on nothing. Those fight scenes that they had, the wardrobe they had, the dialogue, how he wanted it shot, the writing, everything, he was detailed to it. So that's why the movie's so great.
Yeah.
So like, it can be that. Yeah, I mean, remember now, you're getting paid millions of dollars to get something right. You know, so people are, you know, so you can't half-ass it for anybody. You know, you want, because you're people, it's like, say you're doing a studio movie, they're giving you this amount of money. Okay, they want to see this amount of money. You know, they want to see it on screen, and they want to make sure the audiences love it. Now, there's a hit or miss or how the audiences take it. You know, yeah. But, you know, they want us to make sure that you are doing your job to the best of your ability, and maybe far and beyond. So as a producer, yeah, you're detailed to everything. Now, when it comes to writing, you are, when it comes to, characters, how they look, yes. How they act, yes. What they say, yes. Where they are, and how, you know, sometimes the director can't see what you're trying to convey. So you have to kind of act it out for them. Like, okay, I want them to do this. I want them to say it just like this. Some writers can get that, how I say, anal? Yeah. So yeah, you have to do that.
Because I mean, I guess because it's their vision. So
yeah,
like you said, ain't nobody gonna see your vision like you see your vision.
Absolutely. So it can be just like that.
And so with your new show, you know, Thanks for Giving,
mm-hmm.
do you want it to go on Netflix? Or because I see like some people, like they shoot a movie and they put it on YouTube.
Sure.
Or, you know, they put it on Amazon. Like, is your goal for your movie, is it to get it in the movie theaters, even though like the theaters is not really open, you know?
See, okay, now that's an interesting question. And, you know, it's funny you asked that question because, okay, so we were supposed to go into production in March.
Oh, right when
and then the pandemic hits. So, but you know, it's the ups and downs to it, because, you know, it's sad that this happened. But you know, the big budgets, it happened to them too. So everybody got hit by this. So the goal at first was movie theaters. I'm not sure if it's probably still the same goal, because, you know, if you notice now, movie theaters, you know, it's everything's changed now. Streaming has changed. Like a good example of that is the Borat movie that came out last week. It would have done well in movie theaters, but, you know, because of all this, it's now streaming. But it's done well in streaming because everybody's going to see it now. Yeah. And what Netflix does on their end, when something is trending at number one, you see they have their top 10, so you know what is everybody watching. Yeah. So is that the goal? That's something we have to work out between all of us, the producers and executives. What's the goal now? because they're gonna want their money back. So, but they want to reach as many eyes as possible. So like I don't want to tell you anything like this is what's going to happen, but I want to say that when we go back in that room and talk to each other, we will we can have a more definitive answer for you next time.
That make a lot of sense. My thing as as you are a writer, do you ever get writer's block?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know if that just was rappers.
No. It's funny. I had it this summer. I had it early this summer. I was out, because I had this past summer, with the police killings. It affects us. Let's just keep it 100 for a second. It really bothers us. So I wanted to write something to deal with that pain. Because it happened back to back. Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, and then George Floyd. It all happened right back to back. It was just like, you needed for myself. I needed a catharsis to get through it. So I couldn't come up with anything. And thank God I had my partner, because when me and him, we bounce off ideas to each other. I said, like let's go this way. Let's go this way. Let's go this way. So we came up with an idea. This film that we just finished writing. We're probably gonna pitch our boss. We'll bring it to attention. It's called "To the Victory Is Won," which is a play on words, which is about which is a play on words from James Wyndham Johnson's Black National Anthem. The very last sentence where he said, "Let's march on to the victory is won."
Yeah,
it's about the story. I'm gonna give you just a little bit of it. The story is about someone is killing police officers who have previously killed unarmed Black people, and they want to. It's a big whodunit in this whole film. So that was, it was all summer. I couldn't think of a film. I wanted to see something that was, it's a catharsis in a way, but in the same breath, real life, in the same breath, kind of a man versus man versus himself type of situation. So this is, and it was, like I said, it was hard to figure that out this summer, but that's another film that we've been working on.
Oh, snap. Oh, you're knocking them out. So what is your writing process? Like, do you have to be like in a dark room, or you have to be like out and about? Like, what is your writing process? Because that's an imagination to come up with a movie. Like
for myself, research. The first thing you do is you research. If this is some things you just don't know, and you'll be exposed if you write it, and the public sees it. So like if I'm writing about like a Grey's Anatomy, I don't know anything about medical anything. So if I say the wrong terminology, they'll figure it out.
They coming for you. Oh, they coming for
you. Right, yeah, like when you see these movies about Black films and it was all writers, you just like, okay, I know we don't talk like that, so I know who wrote that already.
Yeah.
But for myself, it's research. That's big. Then you watch other films, how they if some close to the genre of where you're trying to go, to see what they did first. All right, and then you try to do what I do is because I work at night, so when I come home in the mornings, I'm in the zone. I usually I turn the phone off. Let me just get to it. Sometimes I may have the TV on in the background. It's like, oh yeah, I heard something they said that was kind of cool. Like, let me see what can I do to. That's kind of like what I'm trying to say, but how I want to convey the message they're conveying right now. Yeah. Something like that. So that's my process, and then it's page by page, day by day, and I know it could be. How long could it take me?
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah, that could be. It could be a solid month of that.
A solid month to write a movie, or
because you're writing it
from everybody,
and then you're rewriting it, because what you did in your first draft is not going to be your best, because you write, you wrote, you just kind of like, it's like, you write and you turn in a term paper, you wrote it, but you got to edit it to make sure what you wrote makes sense, because it makes sense in the moment, but somebody else reads it and they start dissecting little things. So then you write it, then my partner sees it, and then he comes back to me and says, okay, let's do this, let's change this up. And then and I know one thing I know I do is for myself is I'll have friends who I can trust that will tell me this is stupid or this is good or this. I want those people to tell me the truth because I mean, you know, somebody else is going to tell me the truth. Somebody else who doesn't care about me.
Yeah.
Gonna, you know, so I know I have my sister who does not lie, who tells me everything. I have Kyle. He'll read it. I know my business partner. He'll have his family read it, and then they'll pick out. Everybody picks out little things, and they're like, okay, we gotta go back and do this all over again. So that's the process.
So do you send out like books like to everybody?
No,
Or
we email them.
you know, I'm old school.
That's all good.
I thought they still had the books. Everybody sending books out. Yeah.
No. You know, the only time you print it out is when you're on set, when you're about to actually shoot it. Because especially before that, because you want to have your actors read it, and you have your table reads. So when everybody's at the table reads, you know, then they read it all together. That's major. You always do that before you shoot a film, and when they do that, then you're on set, and sometimes you may have to change something up on set. So you gotta, you know, sometimes you gotta print stuff up on set. So that's the process.
So who is the artist, the actor that you want in one of your movies? Like, who's the number one actor you be like, I know he'll kill in my movie?
Number one.
I see how you start looking.
Because I'm thinking about there's so many people that are so great right now.
But who's at the top of the top? Like, you got one person sitting up there by themselves.
No, there's two people sitting up there with a movement. I can't lie to you. There's two of them.
Okay, who's the two?
Michael B. Jordan's one.
Oh yeah. Right.
Michael B. Jordan's one, and DiCaprio's another one.
Ooh.
I love his work because he really goes outside of himself. He doesn't do the same role twice. If you ever noticed that. Yeah, he doesn't do the same role twice. He's worked with Scorsese a few times. He doesn't really do the same type of role twice.
I never even thought about that. And many movies that he in,
they're all different.
Yeah, they're all different, ain't they?
Yeah, they all different. Most of them are cerebral, you know. Except for what's that one? Wolf of Wall Street. You know, he was partying majority of the movie. You know.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I gotta give it to him.
Yeah.
So, if someone wanted to get into writing and producing, what would you tell them?
Okay. Well, the first thing, write what you know. Write what excites you. If this excites you, write that first. And it is best to, I would say, always try to find an internship. And if that's the case, some people, there's always different routes. So I can never say this is the correct route. Do this, you know. But this is a route that worked for me. You know, find an internship, and you know, be around the environment of people that are doing this. Some people do workshops. That works for them. Some people do film festivals. That works for them. You know, nowadays it's changed up so much that you can actually, you know, do your own film or do your own short story and put it on YouTube. And it works for them. It works for them. And like sometimes, I mean, like I know there's been there's one movie that got shot on the iPhone. I forgot what it was. But you know,
I know.
Yeah,
I know Chance the Rapper shot a music video on his iPhone, on the iPhone, but I ain't know somebody shot a movie on
somebody shot an actual movie on the iPhone. Yeah, I forgot I can't remember who it was. And I feel bad that I even brought that up to not even tell you who it was, you know, but the Hollywood called. Oh, you know, like another one, like Paranormal Activity, where that was done, you know, clearly that was done for like a very, very low budget in someone's house. And yet that made so much money because was it Hollywood? They went to film festivals, Hollywood, they brought that. You know, it's stuff like that. So you can never say to anyone, this is the right way. You got to go the way that works for you. I will tell you this, don't ever give up, because you're going to have your good and bad days. There going to be days where people love your stuff, and then be days where people like, you know, I hate your stuff, or something like happens like a pandemic that's outside your control. And don't ever let nobody tell you that your stuff isn't good. I learned that, you know, people will tell you that of course, going to tell you it sucks. You know, your stuff could suck. A Tarantino could do the exact same thing, and it's great all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it sucks. It just means that this person didn't like it. Doesn't mean you still can't go no further with it. You know.
So do you think a person should like be perfect when they putting out stuff, or do you think they should just learn as they go? You know, because some people be perfectionists and they never release nothing because they trying to make sure it's perfect before they put it out.
Well, if you're going to do that, if you're going, if I'm never against anyone who's perfectionist. Hey, I think some of the greatest writers, directors, producers, all of them are perfectionists. I think some of the greatest ones are amazing, but they didn't start off being perfect. None of them did. I'll always say, don't hold back and say that I can't get to this point because you're scared. That's, in my opinion, that's a level of fear that you feel they're going to say no to this. Okay, they say no, they say no. This is one person saying no.
Yeah.
Somebody else may say yes. This person says no. Jordan Peele says yes. You don't know that. The thing is, you have to try. Do the best you can, and you just keep moving forward. Eventually somebody will like your work, and eventually you become a tastemaker now, and then you like somebody else's work. That's just the trade-off for this.
What do you think about people investing in themselves?
I always say yes. Go for that. Go for that. I mean, more power to you if you could do that. If you, I'm all for that. And then when you do that, you have total ownership, because this is the difference between like investing in yourself and someone investing in you. If someone investing in you, they have a percentage of what you have, but they don't have all of it. But they have a percentage of what you have. You doing it yourself, like a Master P type of situation. Yeah. It's all you. Now all of it is on you, and that's great. The good and the bad, all of it is on you. And I applaud people who can do that. That's difficult, but not impossible.
Hey,
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about, man, right there. So I know you said that Thanks for Giving is in your future. Yes. What else do you have on? What else is in your future coming up?
Well, that was one. Till the Victory is one is another one I told you about. There's another one. There's a Christmas movie. It's a package that we have. We're planning to go out with. This movie called I Believe in Christmas, which is, and it's a play on words, because the whole film is about depressed gentleman who's he's down on his luck during the Christmas holiday, but he ends up taking in this Guatemalan little girl who he finds on the street, who's living on the street. He takes her in, and they kind of build a bond with each other. And this kind of takes him out of his depression, because now he has something to love, because he's feeling depressed because his mother passed away years ago. So he's holding on to that. Yeah. And he's grief stricken. He's lost all faith in humanity. He lost faith in life. And this little girl's he's taken in because her parents were swept up in the raids during the during the ice raids, and they got shipped back home, but she's still left in New York. So that's another film that we were doing. See, the thing is, the movie's called I Believe in Christmas. The reason why it says I Believe in Christmas is because what is Christmas? Christmas. Let's break this down for a second. Christmas, Christ is love. Christ is love. So the movie basically say I believe in love. That's basically. Yeah,
it is a play on words.
But yeah, a lot of people will never catch on to that. No, I won't tell everybody, but that's another film we're working on. That Pioneers Academy is another one I just told you about earlier.
You working. Oh boy,
it's better to have, let's say, 10 ideas, and if those 10 ideas don't work, you still have one. And if sometimes when you have that one they like the other 9 just because you like that one. So I can't remember all of them right now. That's crazy.
Oh, you working? I didn't know you working like that. You was putting in work.
Yeah, there's another one. It was based in Sacramento, where I forgot the name of the film. Where it was the story based on a social worker who was a lady who's down, who decides she got furloughed at her job and decides that she's gonna put forth her degree into social work, and then she's taking on this kid who's living on the street. But their whole storyline of that is she's trying to end sex trafficking in Northern California, which is actually one of the biggest hubs for it. So that's another storyline. Our brand basically is, is basically family. Even though I told you 2 different stories that don't sound very family-like.
Yeah.
Our whole thing with the whole thing is families are complicated.
Yes, they are.
So but families, sometimes families could be your closest friends. You consider your family, or some, or people you don't expect it, or blended families or stuff like that. Our whole brand, my partner, Hooper Curry Productions, is basically family content, and we felt that was the best route because it's kind of like the Will Smith safe route where there's no profanity,
Yeah.
no.
And everybody can see it.
Yes, right. If my grandma can't watch it, I can't watch it.
Yeah, that's smart move. That's a smart move.
Yeah.
So with your production company,
Sure.
how far do you hope to take? We're gonna speak it into existence right now. How far you hope to take this?
It's beyond that. It's beyond production. We want to see. That's an interesting question because it's not just the brand is not just for TV and film. We're not just doing that. We're also trying to set up charities because we want to help victims of domestic violence. We want to help. We want to set up internships for people who want to come up right up under us, because we get how hard this is.
Yeah.
So we want to help those. I know my partner, he decided he wanted to open this whole town in Sacramento called Hooper County, where he wanted to have roller coaster rides, like a theme park up there.
Oh, theme park. I thought it was a town.
Yeah.
I thought it was a town.
Yeah. Set up businesses, we want to set up, like barbershops, businesses for ex-convicts who come home who can't get a job, but that's what they were doing inside. And tattoo parlors, stuff that they can, trades they can do.
Yeah, they already doing.
Right. It's not just a production company. This is just a stepping stone for everything else, And we definitely want to invest in other people's projects, and definitely want to invest in some startups, especially in Silicon Valley. There's not many of us in I'll say there's coding. I'm a coder. I know how to code.
Trying to tell people. Oh my God.
So that's what I'm saying. It's stuff like this. This is the hub, but this is where we branch out to. This is what we're trying to do. So so speaking to existence, all of these things and more, even things that we have not planned for yet, we plan to be successful and progress in those areas too. Things I'm not even thinking of, but things that are going to happen 20 years down the line, we'll be a part of that as well. So
are you in coding already, or?
No, I did that. I did that in 2016. I learned I went to one of those boot camps.
Yeah. Just
to learn how to do it. Do I do it now as a job? No, but I do it for fun. I've learned because I'm a tech guy. I have my master's in information systems.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's that is I'm a tech nerd, in a sense.
Yeah.
But I realize, and it's funny too because there's not many of us in that field.
I was just about to ask you that. Is it a lot of us?
No, there's not. And that that kind of makes me unique amongst my peers. Most of the guys, they're white, older and younger men. We have a few women, not many, but it's something that it's something that like I said, you can't be afraid of these things. You gotta try. You gotta learn these things. Even if you don't do this as a profession, learn them anyway because you just never know. Because the way things are going, it's going to go in that direction for most people anyway. If you notice that.
Yeah.
Like everything's technology. You have kids younger than us. I mean, like my niece and nephew. My God, they know how to do. They know how to do stuff on Snapchat that I ain't never seen before. I feel old just looking at the stuff.
You're the only one. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't mind coding because it is the way of the future. Everything is going to be robots and everything anyway. So
right.
Computers. So you might well try to get ahead of the curve, even though it started a long time ago now. But
it doesn't. See, it's funny. It's with coding. No matter where you started, you can always pick it up later on. It's the whole thing is basically problem solving. Really the whole thing is problem solving. How do I look like this? And believe it or not, some of the top people don't know how to code. Steve Jobs didn't know how to code. And yet Steve Jobs,
people for that.
Right. Like Steve Jobs didn't know how to do any of that stuff. And yet, I mean, look what Apple is today. Most of the stuff that he's had that we have now, the iPhone, the iPad, all that stuff is under his tutelage. So it's stuff like that. It's like I said, it's best to know this stuff. Actually, it's best to know anything. You know what? And that's another thing he did mention. Any job that you ever had, all those resources, all of those things you learned in the training, are going to be correlated to whatever you're doing right now. Always, that's one thing I remember him saying. I was like, that's one of the best advice I've ever heard in my life. Everything you've learned in your past, all the jobs you've ever had, even if you didn't like them, all those things you're going to carry to whatever you learn right now. So, yeah.
That make a lot of sense. Oh, well, I want to say thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you again.
Were there any shout outs that you would like to say, to anybody?
To my business partner, Randall Hooper. He was, big inspiration for me even getting this far. Thanks to Kyle.
Kyle, shout out Kyle.
We need, gosh, one of the very few good guys we're living around.
Yeah, he is. I never met Kyle mad once yet.
Right.
I've been waiting. He just always happy.
Yeah, I wish we could all have that attitude. And it's more so to my niece Jordan, I love her, and my nephew Ace.
Well, Jordan and Ace.
Jordan and Ace, yeah, Jordan's 17 now. God, he's 17.
Oh, you getting old. Uncle getting old.
Dog, don't say that. It's like boys now. Oh God, I hate her. And my nephew Ace, he's 2 years old. So my family, friends, I thank God for all of them. They've all been a part of, this process. And you know what? And there's more to go. That's the beautiful thing about this. And I appreciate this opportunity. I really do. You don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, once your show getting ready to come out to Thanksgiving, we're gonna have to have you on again.
I'll be here. I'll be happy to do it.
But before we go, we do like to ask, who would you like to see us interview? And before you say it now, you gotta you gotta have some type of plug to them.
I have to have plug to them?
Yeah.
Like meaning I have to find out who I have to reach out to them or something like you're saying?
No, you gotta reach out, but they at least gotta know you. So when we reach out to them,
who would I like to see you guys interview? Oh, what's crazy? I don't have no pull to them, but I would like to see you interview one of the leaders for Black Lives Matter, one of the females. I'd like to see that one day.
You're right. I should write that down. You're right.
Because it's that's history, and that's bigger than all of us.
Yes, it is way bigger than us. It's way bigger than us.
And that's something I would love to tune in and see, because they will come on, because I know they support Black owned businesses. They support all that stuff, and they need of course they need their message out as much as possible, especially with this election. They need they need to
get crazy in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I advise everybody stay inside, because you just don't know what's about to happen. Stay inside, stay safe.
I mean, you in LA, so I mean, it's pretty diverse down there.
Yeah, but we got that's the Proud Boys are in Santa Ana. They're not far. So, and you don't know, people, they're not gonna come to this side of town, because that would just be stupid, but they will, they will start something in certain areas. You just don't know what people are going to do. I mean, if you saw last week where in Beverly Hills, Cardi B and Offset, had that little situation in Beverly Hills.
I didn't know what happened, because I don't really watch the news, but I said he got arrested for something.
Yeah, but somebody had kicked his car or something. This is in Beverly Hills, and because Trump had a route. Well, he was there, and those people don't live on that side of town, though they came to that side of town. I mean, most people that that like Trump they're not Beverly Hills rich. That's a very wealthy side of town.
I was gonna say, is it a poor side to Beverly Hills?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
No,
I've never been to Beverly Hills. I only see it in like shows and TV and stuff. So I was
you're very wealthy if you live over there. So, but he had a situation in that side of town. So anything is possible. So that's why I say everybody stay safe, stay inside. I just feel it's so polarizing now. It's scary. But just don't. It's better to preserve your life than you don't know what people are gonna do.
You got that right. Well, you make sure you stay safe down there.
I will. I appreciate you too, man.
Well, yeah. So, is there any inspirational quote you would like to share with people who's listening?
Don't follow the crowd, because you get lost in the crowd.
Ooh, I think that's deep. I think that's gonna go over their head.
Yeah, don't follow the crowd. You'll get lost in it. You don't need. You know. Everybody, you're unique. You're great in your own way. You don't need to be like anybody else, no matter what you're doing. If you sing, you don't have to be like Michael Jackson. You know, you don't have to be. Who's hot right now? God, I'm old. I am old. I'm about to say Whitney Houston.
Oh, you going? You showing your age right now.
I know, right? I know. You don't have to. You know, even in my field, I don't have to be Jordan Peele to be considered good. I don't have to be, I have to be LeBron James to be considered good at basketball. You know, just be whoever you are, because whoever you are is great, and then people want to be you.
Yeah, I think it's it's social media got a lot of people like trying to keep up with everybody else, a lot of pressure.
You know, that's social media is not real. Social media is not life.
Yeah, it's not, but to a lot of people, that's
once they realize that this is not life, that this, you're bigger than social media. And then, even then, I always say this go back to coding. Why be on social media when you can create social media? Oh,
that's a bar right there. That's a bar right there. That's a bar. So you're gonna make me get off here and start trying to learn the code.
I mean, that's I always felt like, just why settle for this when you can do this? You can, Zuckerberg, what's the guy's name? Jack Dorsey. These people own social media, and they're not social people. It's funny. It's funny that they're not social people, yet they have created a genre for everybody to be social. Isn't that crazy?
Well, yeah. I don't know. It's hard for people to believe in themselves and see the bigger picture. I always tell a person, why not you?
Right.
Like,
right.
Why not you? If this person can do it, why not
great
you?
As anybody else. You are great. Whoever you are, wherever you are, right now, you are still great. You just don't. You just take the steps. You don't get to the top of the mountain by staying at the bottom.
You got that right. You got that right. One step at a time.
Right, man.
But once again, D, I want to say thank you for coming on the show.
Appreciate it, man.
As always, when we always ask our guests, we got a send off at the end. Is Cal and Jay Day? We always ask our guests to say that at the end. The end off the show.
Cal and Jay every day.
Like thank you, D. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, homie.
Thank you. All right, have a good day today.
You too, man.
All right.
Peace.
From the bottom. From the bottom.